Hey guys, welcome back to Procrastinating Pretty. This is the first time I've ever doing a voiceover tutorial, but this is also my first tutorial in a really long time. So I hope you guys like it. It's just a simple everyday look, the one I've been wearing for the past couple of months, and I decided to do on Todd today. So I'm starting off with a really light base. On Todd, I'm using Laura Mercier's Tinted Moisturizer, the regular one, in the color Blush. It's my first time using this on her. She got a sample from the counter, and it's nice. It's got SPF 20. That's kind of a good thing for this sort of weather that we're having. And next, I'm going to correct underneath the eye with Bobbi Brown's corrector in, I believe, sand. And I'm dotting that underneath the eye with the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. This is one of my favorite brushes for concealer, for any kind of cream product really, but it just especially does concealer well because the bristles are so densely packed together. And then I'm going to take my pre-moistened beauty blender and to kind of just blend that out. This is the best blending tool, hence the name, that I have ever used. I mean, I don't know why I was doubting it before, but I really was. It was just too good to be true. And next, because Todd is so fair and that corrector is a little bit dark for her, I'm going to take my Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage in SC3. I'm going to take the lighter color and just feather around those edges. That color is a little bit too light for me right now, but it matches her skin perfectly. And I kind of just go around the edge where I applied that Bobbi Brown sand color and just lighten up that area. And then I'm going to take the Beauty Blender again and just pat it all over. I can't believe how much the Beauty Blender grows when you wet it. It's insane how different it gets. And the next product I'm going to use is the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat. It's in number 2, I believe, and I'm just going to help brighten around the edges. Todd has mostly puffiness, like the color's not really a problem to correct. It's the puffiness that gets pretty obvious. It's especially bad right now because I woke up really early to do this tutorial with me. Normally it's not quite so puffy, but I didn't really have a lot of time to do skincare and get her ready. So I'm just putting that around the edges, kind of right where the darkness is. You don't want to put it anywhere that's already light, otherwise it'll just emphasize the, kind of the swelling. But otherwise just put it anywhere that, you feel needs it until you're happy with it, and keep blending with that Beauty Blender. And the next thing I'm going to do with that Touche Eclat is apply it around her mouth. She has a lot of yellow/green discoloration around the mouth. It looks a little bit dark compared to the rest of her face, so I'm putting it right in the nasolabial folds and blending it out with the Beauty Blender again. For people with dry skin, Touche Eclat is a great option because it has such a lot of light reflection. For people with more oily skin like myself, I tend to use something like the Fusion Illumicover. That's a really good option. The Clinique Airbrush is as well, but just make sure you get the right color to match your face because those are generally under eye concealers that have a lot of orange in them. And the next thing, I also like to just kind of do a once over after I'm completely done to make sure everything's blended. And next, since I'm going to do her brows, I'm going to take Touche Eclat and just kind of brush it over the top of the brow. I haven't plucked these Todd's brows in about a year, so they're kind of raggedy looking, and doing this kind of just helps them look more waxed, look cleaner, and like you've actually detailed them. I didn't have time for that, so I just kind of went with it and improvised a little. I'm going to fill her brows in with MAC Charcoal Brown on a 263 brush. It's just a tiny little angled brush. For those of you who don't know your brows as well, or don't know your model's brows as well, try not to start the front of the brow like I just did. It can look a little bit harsh and, just a little bit unnatural. Try to start in the middle, kind of like I'm doing now, and that'll give you more control as to where you put the color. And I know charcoal brown looks really dark for such an ashy blonde, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spoolie and just brush out the brows, like just brush the heck out of them. You'll remove most of the color, but enough of it will stay in the brows to kind of help you define them. I think, oh yes, I'm taking that same charcoal brown color and just kind of brushing it along the outer third of the lash line and into the socket just to give a tiny bit of definition. I don't want a lot of eye on this look. This is a very simple, clean look, almost not quite no makeup, but just sort of lazy every day. I've made an effort, but not that much, so that's what I'm doing. This is the perfect color for that. If you're a little bit warmer, you might want to use something like Sable. Next, I'm going to take the NYX cream blush in Hot Pink, one of my favorite products of all time, I think, because I keep talking about it. Just dot a little bit on each cheek and blend out with the Beauty Blender. This is the same blender that I used with her foundation. I actually prefer to use the same brush for my cream blush as I did for my foundation. The reason for that is you'll have a little bit of foundation left on your brush or sponge or whatever, and that'll kind of help blend the color a little bit more, especially for such a highly pigmented, ultra bright color. It helps kind of tone down the colors. But honestly, I do think that bright blushes make for the most natural. I think, you know, when you're flushed and you look healthy, the undertone of the color is really bright, and the way to achieve that is to use a bright color and just blend it out really, really well. And I forgot to moisturize Todd's lips before starting the tutorial, so I'm using a tiny bit of Nuxe Reve Miel. It's a nice matte lip balm, so the shine won't interfere with any of the with any product you put on top. Then I'm going to take the same, oh wait, what am I doing? I am actually going to put a little bit of mascara on because I obviously forgot to do that when I did her eyes. I'm using Prestige, my Blackest lashes, one of my favorite mascaras. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take NYX. It's the same cream blush. It's called Hot Pink. I don't know why I have such a problem remembering that name. Oh. I'm going to take it and just dab it into the lip. So what you want to do is just take the tiniest bit, get a really good base layer on all over the lip, and then kind of just add as needed. For such, for someone who has coloring like Todd's, you don't need a ton. It's just working it into the lips. And what I'm going to get her to do, that you'll see in a minute, is to rub her lips together really, really well. I find that this kind of helps the colors sink in a little bit more. It warms up the product and just helps it sink into any lines you may have in your lips, and just helps plump out your lips a little bit, which everybody wants, except for me. Most people like full lips, but I find my lips are already super full, so I don't usually do this, but I get everyone else to do this just because it helps. It almost makes the lip product part of your lip color. And now I'm using the nude gloss from Gleam by Melanie Mills. I think it's called Naked. These glosses smell exactly like matte glosses, which I love, but they're way less sticky. And I find this is one of my favorite tricks, to use kind of a nude gloss over a bright lip color. It just kind of tones it down for the day. It's the same theory as me using the same brush for my cream blush as my foundation. Like, the little bit of nudiness just sort of helps your lip color look a little bit more natural, or just kind of more subdued. I think it's just the most fantastic combination of colors. I do this all the time on different people with different skin color and color and hair color, and it works every single time. And that's the end of the look. It's just so simple, so easy. It makes me feel really put together, but not overdone. I mean, I can get this done in 5 minutes flat. I know that the video is 8 minutes, but don't judge. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!